So today I'm showing you a very nice car. I met Ron Cox in the Netherlands and he owns an unrestored 63 cars. So if you're interested in this particular car, this is the video to watch, but you will also learn some other details and original features you wouldn't see on restored cars. So keep watching to the end. How are you? Hi. So this is Ron Cox and we are here, where are we?
We are in IJmuiden, in Holland, Industriestraat. There's my little shop, and here you see my cars.
Nice cars, yes.
Cars. I like original cars.
And we are very close to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Because
20 minutes.
20 minutes only.
Yeah.
So that's convenient for shipping, I guess.
Yeah.
And the reason why I came here is actually this car, because Ron called me and he knows that I'm an originality guy. And he called me because of this car. But being here now, I discovered this car, and this is what I really like. So, and I asked him if we can take a video about this car, because this is all original. And I think some of you might be interested in it, to see how an original car was built. And so you are also, like me, an originality guy.
Yes.
And that is what I see here actually. You only have unrestored cars here.
Mostly, yes, mostly unrestored cars. This is, I think, from the moment, this is the best original car I have at the moment here now. I bought it already 2 years ago, and I could not refuse to let it stay there, so I had to buy it.
I would be an interested customer for this car, really. That is what I like, but every taste is different. But maybe you show us the other cars quick, and then we go into details.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you follow me? Go ahead. Totally unrestored. You see the rubber seals here. Yeah. This is all original. Yeah. And here we see another E-Type.
Yeah, it's a project.
This is a project E-Type you have here. And this is what I see here. My hand starts itching. Yes. This is something I really like. This looks like a daily driver Survivor.
Yeah, then Survivor, it's a flat floor.
A flat floor even.
It's a laid flat floor. It doesn't have the inset louvers. Different carburetor set.
So this is the original bonnet, yeah, without the welded louvers. Yeah, so that is important to know. You see here, this is the original bonnet.
Yeah, the numbers are matching.
And can we see here what number that is? That is, this is the original plate. So that's the number 885433. So I think this is a January 62 car.
I think it's built 28th of December.
Ah, so late December,
yes.
But that is already then the stamped louvers. That is interesting to know. Without the welded louvers. And this is still, had been repainted, but it's still, you see here, 433. Comes in. But this is just, so the original paint was, what is that? There's a number on there. You see here, 1552 on here. So that is the original paint. And there you see has just been painted out on the outer. So that's gunmetal, but it has darkened, as we have seen before in other cars, that the original gunmetal becomes darker with the years. And here's the number. And this is, it looks brown, but it is gunmetal. We checked the documents which Ron gave me, and here you see this car, as I said, it is manufactured on 16th of May 63. That's important to know for us when some parts have been changed. The engine number, we checked this later, and that is the matching numbers car, and it's Carmen red and maroon with black soft top. So, and then we have, what is interesting Again, this is April 63, which matches the May 63 production. This is with the car, and this one has the number 8. So I guess every 6 months they change to a new number, and that is because on the rear of these, here's actually, we see here when the service has been done. Very interesting. And you see on the rear you see all the positions which have to be done at each. You see this is a big one. So that is why they changed, because they added some positions on the service booklet. Most interesting is this one. This is from the owner. And the owner, this is from the second owner. And he wrote the mileage in here. And he calculated the average consumption. So the gallons, mileage per gallon. So, and this was recorded until here, which is the 16th of December, with a mileage of 50,656. We remember on the speedo it says 50,811 miles, and this is when the car was parked shortly after. There was some problem. There was some problem with the engines, but that is how the car stopped in 60. That was, what year was that? That was in 60. Doesn't say which year. 69. So that was in 69. So end of 69, this car was parked and left like this. So that is the proof that the mileage, and it is all original. Here you find the number 3 owner's manual book. That also comes with the car. And here you also see the number 3. This is the original owner's manual book. Sadly, the grease chart is missing. But then we have here the original toolkit, and I will just show you what belongs to it. And so you see, this is very nice kit. This is a Southern car because it's not corroded, and you see it is pretty stiff. I can't get them out; they're so hard, frozen in here. But it still has the Allen key for the brake adjuster. This one already has what I see here. So let's have a look. This is the double figures for the valves. This is always correct. But I've seen here, I don't get it out, but you see here is the plastic. That's the yellow plastic valve removal tool. And the earlier cars had these in brass. So that is all complete in here. And this helps me to understand that the 63 cars already had the plastic. So this is the original. This is the original. Oops. This is the original instruction for the grease gun. And all the rest you see in my other videos. So here's the proof that these are still sealed. These have always been sealed. And there's a hose in there for bleeding the... here we see, this is the original, which I took out of here. This is still tapered. So in 63, the short Tommy bar was still tapered. We need to remember this. Let's see the... that's nice to see. This is faded. Don't know why it's more dust. And here we see, yeah, all 3 box spanners. But it's nice. All 3 box spanners are the same length. They're all 6-inch long. You see the other one is still in there. So this is all original and still with the car, which is very rare. And that is probably why Ron does not want to sell this. And here we see the... I see this is all the same. It is still some grease on there. But I take one out just to see. This is still TW. that surprises me. It is still TW, and that is in 63 they still were using TW, as I know these are from the XK. A shame the a shame the screwdriver is broken. That happens very often. Sometimes this is forgotten on the cylinder head, and driving thousands of miles, it just, due to the heat, it breaks. So let's see what is all original on here. Yeah, the seal is still original in here. It is totally deteriorated. And here are even the original oil change stickers, as you can see. But look at this, how crisp the lines are here on the doors. This is really sharp edges. And here as well, that is no corrosion whatsoever. And this is something what today's restorers, see how thin that is. This is crisp and sharp. And that is what today's painter can't get. They put so much filler and paint and clear coat on it that this becomes a round where it really is sharp. This is, don't know how to show you in a better way, but this is like a really sharp edge. And you will see, let's try to close the door. You see, it shuts perfectly. This is the bronze lane craftsman work. So that is, let me see. Yeah. So let's see here, because some people are asking me if these corners are round or rectangular. And we see here, these are all rectangular. So this is not round or round. You would think to avoid cracking here, but they are really kind of rectangular. Let me see here. Yeah. That looks like a solid car. And now we come round here. And interesting to see here is this one still has horizontal lines only. And later they had the vertical shades on here. Interesting to see here as well. This seal is very thin. Not like today's seals. So here is maybe some paint. Here are still the slotted and not the Phillips screws. They might have got some screws and replaced them, but still the slotted screws in here. Here you see the rubber. Here you see the rubber on here. It is going all along. So there's a second part on there. You see there? This is how it's done, and not forgotten. On there, they have only one rubber. So on this side, interesting to see, still slotted screws for the chrome ring, and interesting to see here the marking for the early cars, but also this is pointing sidewards, and that is the production, so that it is not always that later cars had it in driving direction. This one is pointing, I call this a tip here. So this one is pointing sidewards. And that is, for me, that is the original one. Interesting here, the side lights. This one has vertical lines and horizontal lines. So this must be the transition period when they changed from only horizontal to horizontal and vertical. So that is, on one side, it is the later design. On the other side, it only has the horizontal. So this, on this car we have a mixture, and that is then, for me, the transition period from one side to the other, unless they had replaced the lens. What we all know from the toys, we had the mirrors on the bonnet, and this is the original one. This is the Talbot This is a Talbot from Berlin. So that is the originals on both sides. Very interesting and very rare to find. These are expensive things. Now we see, let's open the bonnet. Here, I had a question from someone on YouTube, and they were asking me what paint the Dust Child had, the lower ones. And you can see here, this is down here, you see, these were painted black, but they are aluminium, and this is the 63 car, and you see it is painted black. Still the 30 on the voltage regulator. This is the later, as you can see here, this only has 2 cases, top and bottom. So these shields are really painted black and aluminium, but they were not prepared very well. And you see here, here's the same number, 6181. That is the body number, what you see there. Then you have here the wiper motor, so that is 562, and so that's about a year before production date. That is interesting to know. I thought that was only months, but that was maybe for the very early E-types. And there you see the screws. And what else do we see here? Here is the number again, which is 879447. So here again we have the grease nipple on here. We have the AA sign for the earlier cars. So this is still the original one. We have the original dampers with the original markings on here. We have the original B's, and we see these bolts are the originals. These are black, but what we see here already in 63, they used the shorter nylon nuts. That is important to know, that on the 63 the nuts were already changed. Not the long skirt nuts, but the short skirt nuts. Still high in height, but you see half the skirt here, and the upper part is round. All the rest looks very much original. Let me see here. Oh, 63, 363, this one says. That is also original. Let me see what else we discover here, which is original. So these are the Lindred screws here, and they have been painted with the body. And here is the original brake cylinders, and here we see again confirmed, as we had on the E-Type UK forum, we have the plastic strap instead of the aluminium strap. Again, you see here the short skirt nylon nuts, and here you see here the valve for the brake booster is on the upper side, where on the early cars it was down here on the back. You also see on this, here are the 2 screws, 1, 2, whereas the early cars they only had 1, and a brass bearing in here. Here again you see the JKN R-rated shinny clamps, and you still have here the original. These are the original second type spark plug caps. This is the original engine number on here, and it is still the original expansion tank, and this is very much original. So whoever is a collector, this is a very interesting car to own. Again, there everything is a short skirt. Here these have been painted. I wonder why, but maybe they already put the engine on this one from the top. Here you see the screws have been painted, and let me see from the inside again. Here is the original mileage down here. It says 50,811 miles, 50,811 miles. And this one, what I wanted to check on here, is this, it still says made in England. So in '63, it is still made in England. You see that here. Later cars had UK. So that is interesting. I know this is, we'll check the paper here. This is the car. This is the car, and it says, so it's interior is maroon, the outer color is camera red, but what we want to know is date of manufacture is the 16th of May in '63. So in May '63, they still had, on the Speedo, they still had made in England. The ref counter had made in England. Very interesting to see is here the aluminium crosshatch pattern, which had replaced the dotted aluminium panels. And the story behind this is the dotted weren't available anymore, so Jaguar had to find a replacement supplier, and they sourced these panels actually from washing machine producer in the mid '60s, and I think the manufacturer of these washing machines was Whirlpool. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that is a story, and they continued to use these panels until September, October '63, and eventually the aluminium panels were then covered with vinyl to make the cars a bit more family-like. Here the glove box, that is interesting to see and important for any restorer. The glove box, this is cardboard. So in the inside we see here that this grab handle here is the later version with the chrome mountings on here, and I actually thought that the 3.8 all had the one without the chromes. On here we see, when you come close, this is the original vinyl, and you see here the structure of the vinyl is a bit rough compared to the reproduction ones, what you can get now, but this proves it is all original. You still have here the slots, the slotted screws. This is the Linrad, that is also original, and this is interesting to see already on this '63 car, plus this vinyl. This is the chrome part on here, which the earlier cars did not have. So in '63, mid '63, this is already introduced, and this is also for beauty. This is, I thought that was for this in '64 only, but this is for beauty purpose only. So a bit nicer. This one here is the original. Here you see the groove, which what the early cars did not have. You see here, that's the first owner. It is a crosshatch, and you see so there is the mileage on there, 50,811. That is still the early Speedo with the tight counter. And here is still, it still says made in England. This one says made in UK, made in England, made in England. So this was just right on the edge between the UK and here you see this is different to the early ones. They have the ears on here, the marking on here. This is where you recognize the original one, because the aftermarket reproductions, they have the slow in a lot wider font than the originals. Yeah, this is the original paint. This is the original soft top, the original structure. And this is interesting thing here, really. I like that. That's a sun visor. Never seen that before. Maybe someone can comment on it. And this is how the original hardtop looks. Really nice. Seats, you can see the inclination of the backrest is 20 degrees. Earlier cars had them a bit steeper, but this is more comfortable. And here behind the seats you can see that you have this curved shape. That means you can move the seat about 1 inch further back than the original flat floors, which had this part here straight, and then you would have the seat about here, which is what I would say maybe 1.5 inch really. So this is all original. The Hadura is the original structure, and yep, this is pretty much original car. Seats, yeah, I would you know, clean the seats and just leave them, but this is the structure. Now let me see if we can get that out here. Then I show you that the seat slides. Kannst du das mal rausnehmen? Nach vorne ziehen. Muss anheben hier. That the seat slides, you see here that the screws, this is original. So one that is original, but the early cars, they had the screw down here because the seat runners were a bit shorter, but this is extended to the far end, so you have more travel for the seat runners. Okay. Yep. So here you see, this is this is the early version. The later version had flange on here, and normally here's a rubber bit, but that's over the years is disappearing, obviously. This is the hardtop. So this is still in great condition. Yeah, what else to say here? It all looks pretty well and fine. Yeah, that goes in here like that, and you tighten that. Perfect. And now let's check the boot, what's in there. So here, wow, yeah, wow. So this is the original knockoff hammer, and that is how it looks. Very rare, hardly used really. So I put that down here. And what is in here? This looks like the jack. Very nice back indeed. And this is the original jack. And as I've always said, the early ones, they did not have the groove in here to fix the pin. So this is correct. for the early cars, and it has patent number on here, not like the earlier cars which had here patent applied for. So that is all correct, and this is a very nice one, still an original paint, extremely rare and very nice to see in here. This is another bag, maybe came off another car. Some, you even have this. This is the cover for the, this is the original one. This is the cover for the soft top. And this I have never seen before. This looks like self-made. This is the headrest, what you might put between the rear. Interesting. So I'm surprised what is in here. I've never looked in here. Ron said I can have a look, so I'm doing it. This is all original. Don't get me wrong, this is all original. Look at this. This is the cover for the fuel pump. And you still have some screws in here. These are for the bolts. Very good, they saved it. So this is the original. This is how the original looks. I put that all back in here. Ron would kill me if something is missing and I'm recording it. So let's see the spare wheel. They took the fuel pump off for safety, I think. You see, that is where the plate goes through. Interesting to see here. So that's a spare wheel. Let me see what that is. As I said, this is the original one. It is all curved and round on here. And this is a Dunlop tire. That might actually be the original one. 685/15 tubeless, 4-ply, and this is the gold seal, the Dunlop gold seal. And here you see this clamp, very often missing. This clamp here, very often missing, because people tend to forget this when remounting it. And the reason for this is to clamp your boot board in there. You see, this goes in here. This clamp holds the board down like this, and often this is missing, so make sure you have that. So I'm putting everything back. Kannst du Pause machen? You see, that is something I noticed on other cars. You see this? It's the bend. It is, and I thought that was due to a crash. You see, this is coming up. It is not like here. This is, you notice that, and that is original. And there's no corrosion, as you can see all along here. This is all perfect metal sheet, excellent condition. No, here is no. You have some runners here. You see that? Paint runners, that's original. It is not always beauty and perfect. And you have no sound deadening or insulation whatsoever in here. You can only find a small mat under here that is probably against vibration. So there wasn't much of sound deadening. So down there you see that. So down here you see this is the only insulation bit you see in the whole trunk. There's nothing whatsoever, but it is in mint condition. It is perfect. You see this. So this is all Lucas, all original. This, when you polish out, that will disappear. Now with the light, I have the LED light. It makes everything visible right to the end. Let me see here. So this is the original. This is how the original looks like. Can be polished. There's no fuel in the tank. It needs to be cleaned. and all the rest. Yeah, and here this is body paint, and the screws are here, JKN R rated, so they're still R rated in 63.
Did you subscribe?